delicious. Mr. Tucker, how are we doing today?
I am doing fantastic. I finally just got home after 5 days away, called a couple games, finally back home for a couple days.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, the Patriots had an awful game on Sunday. I don't even really want to talk about it, so let's talk about you a little bit here. You are a big beer guy, am I right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, what were we drinking this past weekend?
Well, so I was first in Vegas for Browns Raiders, and we were staying at a nice hotel, so I had some Dirty Dog IPAs, which I guess is I try to drink local IPAs as much as I can. So if I'm up there, I'm either drinking Vitamin C or I'm drinking Treehouse. Like I'll do a Yukon game in a couple weeks from now. I will order Treehouse and drive an hour from Hartford up to Worcester after the game to go get, or near Worcester, whatever it's called, wherever that town is, Sturbridge maybe, to get some Treehouse. That was Friday night, and then my wife and I went to a show, and they had like Modelo. So I usually start with like a couple hammers, like a couple IPAs, and then I'll go to maybe like a Labatt Blue Light or a Mexican lager. And then what did I have? Saturday, I only had two because I was doing the game the next day, but they had, I don't know. I was at Circa, had dinner with my wife at Circa, and they had this delicious IPA. So yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. My beers this weekend, way, way better than the Patriots.
Well, how much beer is it going to take to get through this season, Ross? Because I'm starting to why. It's like this is after that first game, it seemed like maybe there was something here. Now it seems like they're the worst team in the league. Would you agree that they're down at the bottom at this point?
No, not until the battle for the basement on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So it all comes down to this. The Dolphins, the Tua-less Dolphins against the Patriots, because I did the Titans-Dolphins game last night. Thank goodness they paid me for that because that was brutal.
Tough one.
Everybody's on Twitter. This is the best game ever. The Lions and the Seahawks. Oh my gosh, you see that play? And Kenneth Walker and I'm like. Meanwhile, I'm watching Mason Rudolph and Tyler Huntley in a field goal fest.
You got to see the Wildcat at least. That was exciting.
I guess. I mean, Nick Folk, your guy Nick Folk had 5 field goals. 3 of them were over 50 yards. Somehow the Titans scored. I mean, there was literally – this has never happened to me before. There was a play. So Tyler Huntley got intentional grounding in the end zone. So it was a safety. So the Dolphins are losing, so they say, we want to do an onside kick with our free kick. So I guess I always thought on a free kick, you could either, just punt it or you could kick it like a field goal or kick it like a normal kickoff. I thought you had the choice. Well, they have their punter come out, but then they say they want it to be an onside kick. And he punts the ball like sky high. For some reason, the Titans returner doesn't catch it.
Right.
And so the Dolphins get the ball, and the Titans special teams coordinator is going crazy, yelling at his guy, like, why didn't you catch it? Meanwhile, evidently not allowed to do that because it's outside of the onside kick zone. Because now that they have that other kickoff rule, dynamic kickoff, they even have zones for where you can and can't kick the onside kicks. Literally, the Titans special teams coordinator had no idea. Neither did I. I didn't even pretend. I'm like, listen, I need Gene Steratore. I need somebody. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Honesty is the best route in those situations. Ross, what is the worst offensive line you've ever seen, and tell me why that group was better than the Patriots?
I don't know, man. I was on some bad offensive lines. I mean, in 2002 with the Dallas Cowboys, I started the last 7 games at left guard, and I graded out the highest in 6 of those 7 games, which tells you guys we were really, really bad. I mean, really, really bad. I remember Mark Schlereth went on ESPN and said we had the worst O-line in the league, and then I went to the Super Bowl and saw him at the airport. I was like, worst in the league, guys. Like, yeah.
Yep.
You know what's crazy though? Like watching the Patriots, they're like the antithesis of what they always were, what we think they're supposed to be. I don't know how to describe it, but like Ramondre Stevenson fumbling every week. They're allowing all these bombs over their heads. Like these what is going on? Like if they're going to have any chance to be competitive, they're checking off the list of things that you just can't do and still be competitive. You can't fumble and throw picks, and you can't let like every guy. Ayuk had one, Juwan Jennings had one, Debo had one. Yeah, I mean it's bad. So here's my two questions, and I mean this all sincerity because I know you guys take calls. I love getting the pulse. Everybody knew the team would be bad. Mm-hmm. You're bad. Everybody knew that was going to be the case. So I guess question one is, what's like the reaction after these games? Do people care? Do they not? Is it like, because they always say like apathy is worse than actually, being angry. Angry
right?
Is fine.
Yeah, no, there is still. So I host the Six Rings post-game show. We get calls, we get passion, but it's mostly focused on everybody wants to see Drake Maye. Like that's sort of the talking point.
That's what everyone says at the end of these games. Where's Drake Maye? Is unwatchable this offense.
That's the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before, but it's just, to me, an incredible indictment of so many people that they don't have him out there yet or don't feel comfortable with it yet. I mean, start with the North Carolina coaches, then you go to Drake Maye himself, then you can go to anybody involved with Patriots offensive line drafting or personnel over the last 2 or 3 years. Then you can go to this year's offensive line coach. I mean, it's really bad, right? On some level, my former teammate, who I love, Alex Van Pelt, because, I mean, at some point, he's got to get out there. I mean, the only reason why I wouldn't put him out there is if you feel like he can't reasonably protect himself, which is, I guess, what they think. They just don't want to put him in those situations. But we said this last time, and I haven't heard someone give me a good answer for it. At what point are we going to press the magic button where the offensive line's a lot better, and then it's okay for him to go in? Like, I mean, Matt Light's not walking through that door, okay?
Ross Tucker's not walking through that door.
No, he's not, because he's got to call the game instead.
Logan Mankins, he ain't coming, right? So I don't know how they're going to magically, like Lucky Charms, magically delicious. I don't know how they're going to magically get good all of a sudden, where you're going to be like, okay, it's time to put in Drake Maye. That to me is the most fascinating thing. I guess it's like a sliding scale of when they think Drake Maye is ready or readier than he is right now. And then when the offensive line gets a little bit more settled, whatever that means. I mean, it also feels like they lose an offensive lineman or two every game. So, like, how are they going to get settled if it continues to be like musical chairs?
That's a great question. We're talking with Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker, brought to you by Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Ross, before we let you go, it's the battle for the basement this weekend. Can the Patriots beat this Dolphins team?
Yes, they can.
Will they?
I don't know if they will, because I would expect Huntley to be the quarterback again. I mean, he's only been there for 2 weeks. I mean, he's been there for a lot less time than Drake Maye's been in New England. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. They just got him up the Ravens practice squad like 10 days ago, and he started last night. So I think he'll be a little bit better. And I think they've got certainly more talent than the Patriots do everywhere else. But they're in a bad way, short week. I don't know. I think that's a very much a toss-up game. Honest question. What percentage of Patriots fans want to win that game versus which ones are already calling you guys and saying, I'd rather just lose to get a higher pick?
I would say that's the majority, honestly. I don't know what the split is, if it's 55,
unless
40,
Maye plays,
whatever.
they want Maye to do well. If he goes in and plays, they
probably you can do well and still lose and get a top 3 pick, so you can get him a left tackle or a wide receiver. Travis Hunter looks pretty good in Patriots uniform right now.
Certainly would. All right, Ross Tucker, thanks so
what?
much.
I think I told you guys this. last week or 2 weeks ago, but when I did that Colorado State game, there's only 3 scouts there, and 2 of them are Patriots guys.
Yes, right. And we're hoping that means what I want it to mean. I'm a Colorado guy, so I want Shedeur.
You know what you should do? You should
Hunter.
draft him, and you should honestly play him both ways.
That's what I said.
Have him be a starting corner, and then give him a package as a receiver. Because these people that say, well, you can't play both ways in the NFL, I understand that, and I get the logic. My only counter to that would be, let's just say the Patriots did draft him, okay? Mm-hmm. And they want to have 2 awesome corners, and they put him opposite Gonzalez. Are you really not going to put him out there when it's 3rd and 8 and he might be your best receiver? Is he just going to be chilling on the sidelines like, drinking a water when it's 3rd and 8 late in the game and he might be better than all the other receivers you have? That's tough.
It is. Ross, I hope we're talking about that next year. I hope that's our number one. When we're doing this interview, I hope that's the number one topic. How come Travis Hunter's not playing on both sides of the ball? From your lips to God's ears. Ross, thanks so much.
Sounds good to me, man. Sounds good.
Thanks,
right.
Ross.
Ross Tucker, Odyssey Sports. Thanks so much. That was Ross Tucker, Odyssey Insider.